Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the John DeVito Show. Hopefully, everyone having a great day. It is Thursday. It's almost the weekend. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm recording another podcast today. I'm not going live on Podbean quite yet. I'm just warming up, getting back into the mix, and recording a couple of quick podcasts just to get back into the swing of things. I'm a little bit rusty these days since I haven't done podcasts in quite some time. But I wanted to get on today and briefly talk about some of the things that are happening in the world right now. Everything that's going on right now between Israel and Palestine, I don't understand how anyone is standing behind Palestine right now. One of the things I'm extremely disgusted by is the way that the squad is standing behind Palestine and they are attacking Israel. Now, I don't by any means pretend to be an expert on this subject, but the bottom line is if you have Palestine who is openly attacking Israel, they are coming into Israel, they are attacking them unprovoked. I can't imagine why anyone is standing behind Palestine. I throw my full support behind Israel, and to see that our elected politicians are standing behind Palestine is absolutely disgusting. Rashid Tlaib, she's a traitor. She should be thrown out of office. She should be thrown into prison. It is absolutely disgusting that our elected officials are standing behind a country that would attack Israel in this cowardly fashion. And that's what it was. It was cowardly. And at some point, you have to wonder. I don't know if it's going to be now. I don't know if it's going to be in the future. But the bottom line is when someone continues to attack you and someone continues to attack you with in this manner where it was unprovoked, you have to wonder when is Israel going to get together and just turn the Gaza Strip into a desert? And I don't know if it's going to be now. And again, I don't like to see death. I don't like to see destruction. But I mean, how many times can you get punched in the face before you eventually start fighting back and really make a decision to go in there and wipe these people off the face of the earth, right? Now, if you look at what's happening right now, Israel has, I think, over 300,000 troops on the ground. They are around the Gaza Strip border. And I think we're going to see an all out war here in this area of the country. Now, this also follows up the war in Ukraine, where, of course, dementia Joe Biden has been funding this war for the last several years. How many hundreds of billions have we sent over to Ukraine at this point? And the bottom line is, I look at these things. I look at the money that Biden is sending to Ukraine. I look at the new situation that we have between Israel and Palestine. I look at the war that started again under Dementia Joe's regime. And it just makes me sick to think that we had a man that was president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. How many wars started under his tenure? I'll tell you how many. Zero. Zero wars started under Trump's tenure. And Donald Trump, I mean, people, before he got in, they were all saying that Trump was going to start World War III. He was dangerous. He was this. He was that. Trump did more to broker peace in the Middle East and also in North Korea than any president in recent history. I mean, think about Kim Jong Un. I mean, the Donald Trump went there, met with him, and commanded the respect of that tyrant. And at that point, when Trump was in office, he was no longer sending up test missiles. He respected Trump. He was afraid of Trump. And that's one of the things that Trump brought to office. So coming up in 2024, we have a big decision to make. Now, I know that you all know that I'm a big Trump guy. I feel that the election was stolen in 2020. You look at Joe Biden today, a guy that sat in his basement throughout the entire campaign, didn't campaign. You cannot tell me that that man honestly got 81 million votes. He got more than Obama. He got more than Trump. He got more than Clinton. He got more votes than any president in the history of this country. Look at the guy. He's incompetent. And again, when I call him Dementia Joe, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I know that's probably kind of hard to believe, but when I call him Dementia Joe, it is really sad that this man has been propped up on the world stage as president of the United States when he obviously has cognitive issues. If you don't see that, I don't know how to get you to see it. It's so obvious that someone else is behind him pulling the strings. I believe it's Obama. I believe the overlords are intent on destroying our country. These are people that serve the World Economic Forum. They serve Klaus Schwab. They serve Soros, and they're intent on this one world government. So what we've seen over the last 3 years, here on this show, I've talked about it. On many of the other podcasts, we've talked about it. We've talked about how these groups are intent on destroying America. They want to take your guns. They want to take away our freedom. They want complete control over each and every one of you. That includes me. That includes all of us. They want one world government. They want to take the guns away. So when they say jump, we have no other choice but to say, how high, master? And that's where we're at. So every American out there needs to make a decision. Do you believe that the United States of America is worth fighting for? If you do, in 2024, every able-bodied American needs to get out to the voting booths, and you need to vote for Trump. Now, for the people who are independents who don't like Trump, that's fine. I get that. I mean, do I want to have a beer with Trump? Probably not. Is he a great guy personally? I don't know the man, but probably not. But he is the one man that is standing up against this attempt to destroy America. He is the one man. He is the one man that is in between the United States turning into a full-blown fascist communist country or remaining the independent light of the world. And that is what the United States of America is. Some people out there listening might think that the USA is not a great place to live, that the USA is not a place that we should be proud of. Many of you obviously haven't traveled to other parts of the world. Now, I'm not an experienced world traveler, but I have traveled. And when you go to other places, when you go to other countries, you see how well we actually have it here in the United States of America. So this is a call for everybody out there. You need to wake up, shut off the damn Netflix, shut off the boob tube, get off Facebook, and go out there and start advocating for your country. Because right now, we are at a turning point. We are about to lose the United States of America. And if you respect and you want to keep our country as a free place to live, a place where you can come, make your life, have a chance at prosperity, then you need to get behind Donald J. Trump. DeSantis is not going to do it. Tim Scott, who I like a lot, is not going to do it. Chris Christie, that overblown Chinese spy balloon, is not going to get it done. So the bottom line is, if you believe in this country, if you believe in the United States of America, get off your ass. And if you're on social media, stop being afraid to offend everybody. We need to start defending Trump. We need to come to Trump's defense. I mean, I've never seen in my 55 years a witch hunt like we've seen over the last, 10 years. I mean, the Democratic left liberal communists came out before Trump was even inaugurated and said they were going to impeach him. They brought forward Russian collusion. They've had him indicted. They've had him impeached twice. He's been indicted, what now, 5 times. None of the charges are legitimate. And everything the left has said that that Trump has done was actually done by Biden. Biden is a criminal. Biden and his entire crime family, they're disgusting. Hunter Biden is a deviant. He's a pedophile. He is a disgusting human being. He has profited off of money from China using the big guy so he can make his money. So for anyone that still loves this country, for anyone that still believes this country, I'm not saying taking to violence is the answer. I never advocate for violence. However, we need to protest. We need to get loud. We need to make people hear us. And in 2024, when the liberal communists try to cheat again, which they will, there's no doubt in my mind that they will, we need to be there. And we need to stand up against the liberal left, the communists, the World Economic Forum, and all of these tyrants, all of these traitors who are intent on taking over the world. I mean, think about what these people have done. Excuse me, I got a cold today, so I apologize. But excuse me for what all of these people have done. These people have unleashed COVID on us. They're trying to kill us. They're putting a vaccine in our bodies. They forced us to take it that is proven to cause health issues. They forced us to comply to wear masks when they knew they were completely useless. They are taking away our freedoms. They want to take away our guns. We're seeing worldwide protests against this. And of course, they're pushing the absolutely ridiculous climate change narrative down our throats when basically we all know it isn't true. It isn't true. Climate change happens. Of course it happens. But it has always happened. And for them to continue to say that, you know, the gas engines in cars are what cause global warming. Well, let's take a look about at electric cars. Do you think electric cars are actually green? Do you think they are? Have you seen? If you haven't seen it, Google what the lithium mine strip mining looks like. They destroy the landscape to mine for the lithium that goes into the batteries of electric cars. And again, when you're charging your electric car, what powers the power grid? Fossil fuels. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to see these people coming out and saying that we need to cut our carbon footprints, we need to ride bicycles, we need to get electric vehicles, we need to cut down our energy consumption, but they're flying around the world in private jets and lecturing us. I mean, see the hypocrisy. You've got to realize that everything that is being forced on us is nothing but bullshit. It's bullshit. For the liberal left out there, I am pleading with you to open your eyes. I'm not saying that I love Donald Trump. I don't love the man himself. But all of you need to realize that everything that is being fed to you on MSNBC, everything that's being fed to you on CNN, everything that's now being fed to you on Fox is all garbage. It's propaganda. You're being brainwashed. These people don't care about you. They don't care about you. And it kills me. I'm very happy to see that a lot of African Americans and people of color are starting to see the light and they're coming over to the right as opposed to being on the left. Because we've talked about this many times. You think the left is your friend, right? They help you when you're in trouble, right? If you don't have any money, they'll help you with welfare. They'll help you with food stamps. They'll help you with Section 8. But what I see is when I look at that, I look into the inner cities. I see a lot of poor black Americans. I see a lot of poor Hispanic Americans. I see a lot of poor white people. There are a lot of poor people that are stuck in the inner cities. They're living in tenement buildings. They don't have food. And the problem is when you give someone welfare, when you give someone Section 8, when you give someone food stamps, you may be helping them in the short term, but the long term is you're creating generational dependency on the federal government. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. People are stuck. They're stuck in the government. They're stuck, taking handouts from the government, and they never learn work ethic. They never learn that an education will get you out of poverty. And they're not given a good education because the schools are not run well in these areas. So if you look at welfare, you look at Section 8, you look at food stamps, and you look at all these different things right now that are creating generational dependency, they're creating slaves. I mean, you think slavery is gone in the year 2023. It is not gone. Maybe we don't use chains anymore. Maybe the government doesn't use whips and chains and things like that to keep people in line. But instead, now they're using welfare, Section 8, and food stamps to keep people dependent on the government. And if you think about it, I look at my family. I come from a family of Italian and Irish immigrants. My grandparents came over from Italy on a boat. They worked in factories their whole lives. They never made much money, but they worked their asses off. And I remember when my grandparents died, they left all their money to my father. They had maybe $20,000 saved over the course of their lifetime. But the bottom line is they never took handouts. They worked their asses off. They didn't take handouts. And what did they get? Okay, they had $20,000 saved. They never owned a house. They didn't really have anything to their names. But what they did get was they got a son, my father, who saw them get up every day and scratch and fight. And they were gritty and they worked and they didn't sit home drinking beer all day or doing drugs all day. So what they got was a son that saw their work ethic. He grew up with nothing. He went to the Air Force, went there for 4 years, served his country. Then when he came home, he met my mother. He had no money. He had nothing. He was working in a factory. But then he went to college, night school for 9 years and got his degree. the first person in his family to get his degree. The whole time he was going to college, he was working all day. And back in those days, we didn't have online classes. So he had to come home after an 8, 9 hour day and then drive to college and spend the night there at classes. He finally got his college degree. My father never took sick days. He woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, went to work every day, and absolutely busted his backside. And he worked very, very hard. So I got to watch my father get up every morning. He worked all day. He made a good living working in a job that never paid a lot, but it did provide him a pension. So he did work every single day. And I'll never forget the day where, we had a house. It wasn't a big house, but we had a house. We had food. We had nice clothes because of the way that my father worked. And I still remember the day when my mother saw that he was wearing shoes to work every day that literally had holes in the bottom because he was putting his family above himself. She forced him to go out and buy himself new shoes. But that's how my father was. And I saw that as a young man. My wife's family was very similar. So what did we get from grandparents that worked every day as opposed to people that stayed home and took welfare? We learned work ethic. We learned you get a job and you don't take handouts. We learned pride. And now if you look at my wife and I, we have a nice house. We have some money. We've worked hard. And we are the third generation in our family to finally have, this work ethic that our grandparents blessed us with, and we have a good life. But we've done it because we learned how to do it. We learned to work hard. We learned to get educated. My wife became a doctor. She financed her undergraduate in medical school all by herself. We paid for it. We didn't ask for handouts from the government. We didn't ask for them to pay our loans. We paid our bills. We paid our mortgage. We get up and we work every day. I'm 55 years old and I have no intention of retiring anytime soon. We save our money. We invest it wisely and we are teaching our children to work. That's what welfare does. Welfare never shows children work ethic. And I'm not blaming the people that take welfare because they're caught in a very difficult situation. The government is giving them these handouts and the government is making it easy for them to sit back and take the money. Now, if they give up their handouts, if they try to work, then they're penalized. Why do we have a system that penalizes people for going to work? If you have welfare, it should be something that helps you get out of a difficult place. And there should never be a penalty for these people going to work. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to keep this short today because, again, I'm warming up, getting back into things. I'm going to start doing some live podcasts very soon. So if you've enjoyed my live shows in the past, you'll be able to join those in Podbean in the very near future. But again, I wanted to get on and just talk about some of these things that are bothering me today. I don't understand how people are standing behind Palestine. I think Israel needs to go in and do what they need to do. And I would like to see Biden, support Israel, but keep his damn nose out and not send them hundreds of billions of dollars like he's done to Ukraine. And let's all remember, Donald J. Trump, they said he was going to start World War III. How many wars started under Trump's tenure? Zero. Zero. Donald Trump is the man that we need in 2024. We all need to unite behind him. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you think he's a good guy or not. Donald Trump cares about this country, and he is here for us. Donald Trump is the man that we need to support. I'm thrilled that they threw McCarthy out of office. I think he was a rhino. I think he was playing ball with the Democrats and the Matrix and the establishment, and those are the people we need to stay away from. One of my greatest disappointments so far in the last year has been the evolution of DeSantis. I thought DeSantis was the real deal. I really liked DeSantis. I would have supported him after Trump in 2024. If DeSantis had run in 2028, I would have supported him. I don't trust him now. I think he's one of the Matrix. He's one of the rhinos. He doesn't give a damn about us, and we need to get rid of all these people. And I wish I had video right now. You could see my shirt. My shirt that I'm wearing right now says term limits now. We as a country, once we get Trump back in office, we need to encourage him to pass an executive order that all members of Congress have term limits. Every politician from a school committee member up to the president needs to have a term limit. And those are one of the things we have to revise going forward. So anyway, I want to thank all of you for listening to my podcast today. Please share the John DeVito Show with some of your friends. If you like what I'm broadcasting, please send it out there. And again, Very soon, I'll be broadcasting live on Podbean, so you'll be able to call into my show and become an active participant in the show, either as a call-in or as a chat person in the near future. You can find me on Facebook, The John DeVito Show. I'm actually on LinkedIn also as The John DeVito Show. I hope you follow me. I hope you join me. God bless America. I love each and every one of you. Take care and have a great day.